I did a Q&A a few years ago, maybe actually at this point a decade ago, with Chiwan, and he had just finished reading about his wife's, they had a baby, and unfortunately it didn't work out, and she miscarried, and he dedicated a whole book of poetry about that, and it was beautiful and painful, but beautiful. And so afterwards we did a Q&A, and this guy in the audience at university was like, so where are your motherhood poems? And I'm like, I'm sorry, what? He's like, where are your motherhood poems? Aren't you a mom? Like, why don't you write about your kids? And I'm just like, it was just like a moment of like, I can't believe you just asked me that. So it took me 10 years to write this poem, by the way. So here's my response. And when I am angry, I don't get creative about my titles. You'll see this in a second. A poem for the man who asked me, where are your motherhood poems? He didn't have the predictable inquiries. Do I write in Spanish more than English? Do I italicize the Spanish words or include a translation glossary at the back of the book? With an accusatory tone like a private investigator out to solve the case of the missing poems, as if I purposely erased my kids' existence and memories in some poetic version of witness protection. Should I write more about the irony of never wanting to be a mother in the first place? While other girls talked about having babies and a husband after college, I spoke about wanting 80-hour work weeks, burying myself in depositions. Should I write more about the abortion I had at 22, find the appropriate simile for the feel of the vacuum in my cervix? How I made my future husband witness and hold my hand while I sobbed on the exam table, legs wide open, reminding me how I got there in the first place. How I still think about my child every Mother's Day. I think about the women who cannot have children and the price tag of IVF, the bureaucracy of adoption, the women who still have to justify to their tias, mothers, sisters, other women that their worth isn't in their uterus. Because my body's sole purpose is to be a vessel of life and not sexual satisfaction, never contemplating the perfect metaphor for the best orgasm I ever had. I should be careful of slut-shaming myself in my sonnets when I say fucking versus making love, pussy versus vagina, dick versus manhood. So where are the motherhood poems in question? They are embedded here in the pores and cells of this poem that cannot wait to breathe. Woo!